Recording in progress.
I've been asked to tell you about a recent Russian film that left me feeling distinctly underwhelmed, and the one I can't help talking about is The Master and Margarita. So, without further ado, let me start the ball rolling. It must have been around a fortnight ago when I watched it at a local cinema, largely because it had been heavily promoted and was widely discussed online. Having been born and raised in Russia, I've grown up with Bulgakov's novel as a cultural reference point, so my expectations were, as you might have already guessed, fairly high. The trailer looked promising, the cast was impressive, and the whole project was marketed as a bold, long-awaited adaptation. Hardly had the film begun when my initial excitement started to fade. Little did I know that what I was about to see would fall short of expectations so noticeably. Not only did the storyline feel fragmented, but it also lacked the emotional depth that makes the original work so powerful. The characters, especially the master himself, came across as oddly underdeveloped, which made it difficult to connect with them on any meaningful level. What disappointed me most was the overall execution. Despite its undeniable potential, the film relied too heavily on visuals, and the extensive use of CGI, I mean computer-generated imagery, instead of enhancing the atmosphere, actually became distracting. What made matters worse was the fact that many creative choices felt questionable, as if spectacle had been prioritized over substance. It was then that I realized the film was failing to live up to the hype it had so carefully built. Not only was the pacing uneven, but the philosophical core of the story also seemed diluted. Had the director stayed closer to the spirit of the novel, the outcome might have been far more compelling. In fact, if the film hadn't tried so hard to impress visually, it would have delivered a much stronger emotional impact. Overall, the movie had all the ingredients for success, yet it left a lot to be desired. By the end, I felt rather underwhelmed, not because it was outright terrible, but because it could have been so much better. And that perhaps is the most disappointing thing of all.